Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Lego City. This is the Lego City, the theme, Lego City, Express Passenger Train. And I just got the review of this done over on my Lego Reviews channel. Of course, all the channels are linked together, so look in the video description, the channel main page, try to keep at least the main ones pointing at each other. But here, I'm just showing the train going around my layout. Because, I got a bunch of footage of it, and typically when I do this, I only use a small fraction of the footage in the review itself. It's just, little inserted segments. So I wanted to take a little bit more advantage of the opportunity to show the layout in action, because I haven't done that much, especially since I did a major change to the layout. So here you're seeing the two loops, the downtown loop over on this side, and also the industrial freight loop on the other side, as we're turning left to go to that now, connected and working seamlessly. The way that I've set this up, without having to flip any switches, if you run trains in this direction, this happens. It will just go from one to the next, and continue on the largest form of loop. If you run in the opposite direction, then each train will stay on its own side. It'll stay in its own little house. So I can have one freight train going, and I can have one passenger train going, in addition to, of course, the elevated rail loop that separately. Unfortunately, after recording all of this, I realized that the audio, usually the audio is just fine, but this time it wasn't. It's my fault, but yeah. So I have to, unfortunately, not share with you the sound from this because it's not good. I do apologize for that. I wanted to give you the full sound experience. But pulling back from the view of a review and looking at this as a product to evaluate, just looking at it as a train going around my layout, I like it. I like the color blocking. I like the shapes that are formed in its aesthetic design, its visual design, with just regular pieces, not even relying upon stickers. It does have some stickers, but most of what I see that I like, that I'm enjoying looking at, is just from the build of the physical build, using just regular full solid pieces. And I love how low it is to the tracks. It makes it feel more sleek and more modern. And I love how little of a gap there is between each pair of cars. They're so close together. It's only one stud of space between each, which is fantastic. I think that's the least gap that any Lego train, at least passenger train, has had ever. And they're still able to go through all these little S-curves and tighter turns and everything. It can do that just fine. It has enough clearance, and I think that's fantastic. But most importantly, I just like looking at this thing around. The set, if you haven't seen the review, the set does come with the electronics. It uses the powered up system, which is, as far as the train stuff is concerned, it's the power functions motor with a different connector at the end of it. Same thing also goes for the lights. So the lights are included, and those end up just getting controlled from the second channel on your physical controller. Physical controller is included for it. It's like a Bluetooth low energy thing, but that's great because it doesn't require an app. And as you can see here, I'm able to run two trains. Now, what I've done, there are two ways that you can make two trains work together. One, you can run both at the same time, just connect them and just run the rear one in reverse. So you turn both of them on, turn on both the controllers, and you run the rear one in reverse. It's awkward to do that, of course, and because they have multiple speeds, you need to make sure that you're running the front one and the rear one at the same speed. There are individual button presses, so you can make sure you press the button the same number of times for each, but that's awkward to do. So what I've done is just take out the rear motor, so it's not providing any drag, and this is just one motor, just the front one, pulling the whole thing. It's not only pulling the whole thing, but it's also pulling it on batteries that are almost dead. So I'm going to do I think this is where I do the little switch. right in here. Yes, yeah, you can see the headlights are not on now. It's because I forgot to turn them back on. Those the AAA batteries in there that I put into the hub had not been charged in literally months. So this is another set of batteries that had not been charged in months, but at least they're not as worn down. But again, one motor is pulling this thing, and that really is just a testament to how good those power functions, and now powered up, motors are. How much power the motor has, and how much traction also those wheels have. The modern wheels. Even with that same amount of power, with the same motor on the inside of the unit, if this was the 9-volt, the old 9-volt bogies with the metal wheels, you would not be able to get this much traction. It wouldn't be able to go around without wheel slip, especially some of the tighter turns, pulling that much weight. So it's just all good. I like the new system. I'm going to convert eventually most of my locomotives over, those that reasonably can accommodate it, to use, or any of my powered locomotives at least, to use hybrid power, where they're using 9-volt pickups and then the powered up or power functions, mostly power functions, motors for actual traction. It's just far superior. And then those motors are much easier to get, and so I'll just be in better shape overall. But that's that. I just wanted to show you as much of this footage as I possibly could. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out the review if you haven't. I'll talk to you again soon.